Thank you for coming on. We'll get to the props in a second, but I just want folks to know about your fascinating story and all the facets that you have going on in your life right now. So let's start from the beginning. Where were you born? Let's talk about the childhood.
Thanks for having me on your show. I was born in Italy and the region of Calabria. Calabria is the tip of the toe of the Italian peninsula. And my parents were part of the wave of immigrants that bypassed the US and went straight to Canada in the mid-60s. And they settled in Toronto, Canada. So I grew up in Canada, in Toronto, in a very lively Italian neighborhood.
Italians lively?
Yes, we invented drama. We invented opera. and Toronto is the 6th largest Italian-speaking city in the world. And there's many little Italies and nonstop television and radio. So I grew up around the Italian language all the time.
You call yourself a crossover tenor. So when did the singing start?
Singing started in church, part of the choir, when I was 9 years old. And the priest singled me out to sing a solo, not because I was a better singer than the other children, because I couldn't blend. And after the Mass, all the parishioners came up, and that was when the bug bit me. Like, wow, I like this.
How old were you then?
9.
Okay, 9. So at 9, so what happens from 9 on then?
9 on was taking lessons, guitar, piano. Then my uncle sat me down and he says, so, you want to become a musician? He says, you understand that not everybody becomes famous and does well. I said, I understand that. So he says, you have to learn the language of music. And that's the first place you're going to start off, is going to conservatory. So he kind of planted the seed in my brain really early on that I needed to learn my craft and the language of music. So I ended up studying music at Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Let's right now listen to what you are singing right now, and we're going to go to a tape, so okay. Let's listen.
Non ho più pensato a te, ho aperti gli occhi per guardare intorno a me, e intorno a me girava il mondo come sempre. Gira il mondo, gira nello spazio senza fine, con gli amori appena nati, con gli amori già finiti, con la gioia e col dolore della gente come me. Un mondo, soltanto adesso io ti guardo.
Micheal, so we've established here that you have an amazing voice.
Oh, thank you.
This passion of yours to sing led to some tough times, did it not, trying to get yourself out there?
Certainly. The music business is a very difficult business. There are a lot of mavericks. Not everyone, you know, has, what's the word I want to use, a conscience. And so there's a lot of trials and tribulations to get from point A to point B. So I had a series of concerts and tours that did not make money, and I found myself in an incredible amount of debt.
How old are you when the debt is pretty deep?
I was 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, much more older than that. What am I talking about?
You forgot
40.
how old you were.
Yes. 40.
So what happens when the passion is there and you've got this great operatic voice, but it's not working?
What happens is you try to figure out what else you can be passionate about, just to distract you, to like live life, to feel, and then try to have some success there, and then incorporate that back into what you failed at originally at. That's the way I look at it.
So somewhere along the line comes the olive oil and the balsamic, and
prior to that was the villa.
Was the villa.
Yes.
Let's talk about, you have so many things going on, that's why I find you so fascinating. So let's talk about the villa, let's talk about the olive oil and balsamic, let's talk about a fragrance, let's talk about an events planning, wedding, Tuscany style here in the States. So start with the villa. What happens? You're in debt, you do what?
So I'm in debt, and creditors are calling me up, and I'm panicking, and my accountant from Connecticut tells me how to handle myself when the creditors are calling. And I'm like always shaking and scared. And so once I get over that hump of how to handle them, and I started saving up my money, I decided that I wanted to reinvest into something that would give me a return. Now, keep in mind, this was 1999. Napster just comes into the scene, and the whole music business model is now collapsed. So I'm not going to take that money and reinvest it in music. I wanted to reinvest it into something else that would give me a revenue stream. And so I decided to rebuild the villa in Italy that my parents had for years, and they abandoned the property. It was completely in disrepair. It was an eyesore. And it took 3 years. I engaged my uncle as the master contractor.
With no money, you figured out how to do this?
No, there was money there. There was some money saved up. So I had a jingle that I performed on that ran 3 cycles. It made me a lot of money. And from that money, I used it as a way to get things going.
So you get the villa up, and it's beautiful. I've seen pictures on it on michealcastaldo.com. You can see this. You can rent it. You rent it to folks who stay in Calabria.
To folks who've been to Italy before and now want to discover another side of Italy, or they have relatives in Calabria, but they want to be independent and they want their own place, or those who are looking to do genealogy research and they want to see where their grandfather came from and they want a base. So primarily it's those kinds of folks that would stay in Calabria, because it's really off the beaten path. It's not on people's radar. You would go to Tuscany first, the Amalfi Coast, the Venice, Cinque Terre, Liguria, before you would ever go into Calabria. And I felt really proud that I was kind of putting this region on the map for travelers to come and visit. So not only was I trying to market the villa, but also the region, and having conversations with Ryanair to have direct flights from the UK to Calabria. And
a one-man marketing machine you are.
Well, I'm not sure if it's one man. I had a lot of help.
So when does this come into play?
As the villa's being built, my relatives on my mom's side of the family would give me bottles of olive oil to bring back. And I would then share it with my friends during the holidays. I would buy these small decorative bottles, and they would say, "Mike, this is incredible olive oil. Where'd you get it from?" And I said, "This is my relatives." "Man, you should import this." And I said, okay. In 2004, the FDA finally proclaims the health benefits of olive oil, something that Mediterraneans have known for thousands of years.
Yes.
And so I started off with 25 of my closest friends buying 10-liter cans, and now we have in excess of 700 connoisseurs throughout the US and Canada.
Unbelievable. Now you also have weddings that you do Tuscany style here. This is another company that you have.
It's a reverse destination wedding event. Rather than going to Italy to celebrate your wedding, we bring the best of Italy to you. But we're not talking Italy with a red and white checkered table with a bottle of Chianti and a plate of pasta.
But you could have that if you wanted.
Yeah, we try to go for a higher end clientele, if you will. So like authentic mozzarella maker, proper olive oil tasting, the best Prosecco, the best foods, really high-end events. And I can only do like about 4 of those a year because they take up a lot of time.
And you do have to sleep at some point because you are out singing and you have new albums. You're working on a new album, perhaps a PBS special, and a fragrance. Talk to me about the fragrance.
The fragrance is called Musica. And musica, because the same vernacular that is in music is the same vernacular that's used in the fragrance industry. Because you have your top, mid, and low notes. You're creating harmony. You compose a fragrance, and the composer sits at an organ. And the fragrance, the primary oil from our fragrance is bergamot. And the bergamot plant, of all places in the world, is in Calabria. So everything that I do is all connected to my roots, to my story, to what I'm all about. And I just try to bring a little bit of that every 2 or 3 years.
At some point, there's an end game. What are you doing in 5 years? Are you still doing all of these things, or are you on stages all over the world? I mean, you are on many of them now, but what's the end game here?
The end game is I'm not going to retire. I'm going to continue singing until I die. So I want to be singing, and then I'm going to croak on stage. That's the way I see my end game. And leading up to that, sing as many events, concerts, festivals as possible, continue writing songs, producing CDs, bonding with my fans. I truly believe that an artist in today's world can have a success with 1,000 true fans. And I'm just one by one developing these fans. And if they want my olive oil, I'll give them my olive oil. If they want the balsamic, they get the balsamic.
You're like a grocery store. Everything is there. So I just want to end this by saying, what do you say to somebody who says, music is my passion, but as you said, when Napster came along and some of these other things, the music industry collapsed. So you have to diversify, it almost seems, to make it, and yet music is going to be the end game.
It is. Music is the glue that keeps everything together. And it's the heart and the soul. All these are side passions of mine. They make my story a little bit more interesting and set me apart from everyone else that's doing what I'm doing, singing classic Italian songs, writing, performing, doing concerts. And so I think it just makes me more interesting than just being a musician. And so for those who are thinking of coming into the music business, know your craft skills, know your instrument, know it really, really well. Talent is a given. Then what you do with that talent, how you present yourself. It's a social business. Getting out there, meeting people, developing those relationships, and saying to yourself, what can I do for you before you can ask them what they can do for yourself.
Micheal, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.